Throughout all of time, podcasts have always been about something. But this podcast is the one about nothing. Recording from his home studio in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you're listening to The Michael Papinchak Show, Pittsburgh's premier podcast about nothing. Now buckle up, because TMPS starts right now.
Okay, so hello. Welcome to the Michael Papinchak Show. I'm your host, Mike Papinchak. I'm joined in the studio here by Jason Mocha, the co-host with the most, and our good friend John Edwards. John, how are you this evening?
I am excellent. Very happy to be here, guys.
Okay.
Glad to have you here.
I have been running around all day, and finally I get to sit back, have a beer,
Relax.
Yes.
relax.
And do a podcast.
You got it.
Okay, so this past weekend, as I've mentioned on previous shows, was the 40th anniversary of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix at Schenley Park. And we were all there, and we had a fantastic time. It was the hottest Grand Prix probably of all time.
It was hot, yeah.
In the 40 years.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But it was a really fun time. So I thought we would just kind of go through the weekend. John, this was your first Grand Prix.
My first Grand Prix in a long time.
Okay.
Well,
And
participating.
First Grand
bringing
Prix,
a car, you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
First Grand Prix bringing a car. First Grand Prix, driving around. First Grand Prix, not just as a spectator.
yeah.
As a local resident.
It's a lot
walking
different when
through.
you're like in it.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I've gone to it as a spectator. I've worked it through a dealership, being there to represent a dealership that I worked with. But this was the first time that I was actually involved in a club. So you brought a Mercedes-Benz, so you were with the Mercedes-Benz Club of Pittsburgh or whatever it's.
Yes.
Does it have
Mercedes-Benz Club of America, I guess, like Pittsburgh chapter.
Sure.
Something like that.
And Jason and I, Jason had responsibilities not only with the Italian cars, but with the Bentley, since he works for, the Bentley dealership and such. But as far as our participation together, we were part of what's called the Cortile, which is the Italian car club. So it's an umbrella club. It's just not Ferraris.
Yes.
It's Lambos, Ferraris, Vespa,
Whatever.
Lancia.
Yep.
Fiat, Alfa Romeo,
Assetto Fraschini.
oh yeah, all kind of any car made in the boot, if you will,
Yeah.
in Italy is allowed to be part of the Cortile, which is really nice because
And the French cars.
Oh yes, and
the French cars are part of the Cortile.
was this
the
the
first year.
So there were only 4, because there's probably only 6 French cars in the entire city. I mean, they're not the most popular.
They don't take a lot of space.
Yeah.
So they were always kind of in a corner somewhere on the field.
Yeah.
So we've now incorporated them to kind of showcase them a bit. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and they were really nice people and
yeah, they're
very interesting cars. French cars are.
I saw the Citroën.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very interesting vehicles. They have their own kind of personality.
Yeah.
And
the SM
very
has
interesting
a Maserati
people.
engine too.
Which one? I'm sorry?
The SM has a Maserati engine.
I did not realize.
So,
okay, yeah.
So there's some crossover there.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously, Jason works for a dealership group here in Pittsburgh that has the Bentley and Maserati dealership. It's under one roof. So obviously at the Cortile was the Maserati tent, and then Bentley had a tent somewhere else on the
race side.
Yeah, on the race side. And it is the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, so that there was racing involved.
Yes.
And I was kind of curious about the racing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to go through all the race results, but I was just kind of interested in, who's racing and bringing these like vintage cars.
Right.
And it is the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, but 18 states were represented. 18 states were involved in racing, and someone from Ontario, Canada.
Oh wow.
So it is quite a big, from California to Rhode Island, states were involved.
Somebody came from California.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland, Missouri, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, of course, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia, and then Canada. So I looked at all the different cars, and I picked out all the states.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
That's just on the race side.
That's just for the racing on Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't even include pit race, which
Right.
has a whole, that was in the middle of July, I think.
That was weekend before.
Yeah, the weekend before. So that was a whole different race, which I just wanted to talk about.
We got to get you up there.
Yeah.
Because you'll really,
yeah.
if you were into the racing,
Yeah.
you'll really enjoy that.
So on Sunday, so we'll talk about Saturday because I want to go through the awesome cars that won in the Cortile, because Jason is the head judge for the Cortile, and I was one of the judges as well. And we had, best Ferrari, best Maserati, and such. But on Sunday, they have an event called Wine on 9 where we actually go right on the track. Well, you know what I mean, right near it. And it's part of the Cortile Club, and it was awesome to see these cars coming around.
There was a band.
Oh yeah, there was a
music,
tuba and accordions and a trumpet, and then the cars were screaming by that turn there.
But the best is we're going down.
Yeah.
And then
okay, so not only so John is like, I'm not really into cars. I'm gonna buy a Mercedes, cool Mercedes.
Yeah,
this is my first involvement, and then
that was what, 6 months ago?
Yeah,
right,
6 months ago.
We're walking down the hill to go to Wine on 9, and there's John. He's in the parade.
He's in the parade.
He's in the middle of the racing or whenever it is during the day.
Yeah, lunchtime. Stop. Yeah.
They stop the races. And they have like a parade of all kind of different cars, and so
they announce the Grand Marshal, and then they sing the anthem,
and the Grand Prix does benefit autism and a school for
the Allegheny School for intellectually disabled adults,
and they were involved in the parade.
Yes, they were.
Is that correct?
Yes, they were.
So
did you have an ambassador in your car?
I did.
Okay,
I had an ambassador, and I think and I had an ambassador and a woman who works at the school and is involved with their development or their she's their point person with the Grand Prix.
Because we're down there on Wine on 9, and then John comes down. I'm like, there's a girl riding on the back of his car. I'm like,
yes.
I'm like, what's going on?
I think she runs the school.
Yeah, there were like 4 Mercedes that kind of like led the way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right after, I think it was the. I forget what the first car was.
Okay.
Then there were 4 Mercedes.
Well, they have the pace car, the Jag.
The pace car, the Jaguar pace car.
Yeah.
And then there were 4 R129s.
Okay.
An R107, and I think it was an SL. It may have been like an SL65.
Okay.
Like an R231. That one I can't remember, but there were 4 R129s and an R107.
That's cool.
When I saw you, like, kind of, because you had won an award, right?
No, I hadn't won an award. The award that I won was showing up early.
Okay, so
I on all day Saturday in the morning I was in a board meeting. And I couldn't get over to the Grand Prix until about 2:33. I arrive in the SL, and just in time for the heavens to open and it to pour down rain.
I'll tell you, that was vicious.
So that was Saturday, I'm correct?
Yeah, you were already home sleeping.
No, I was home sleeping. So because the judging, there's a lot to go through here. Right. But after 2 p.m. on Saturday, after kind of all the action was done for us at the Cortile, it apparently stormed really bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
Real quick. Came kind of felt like it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I was cheated out of a day.
Okay.
That is to say, I intended to park the car, walk around, find you guys, see some stuff, have a beer or two, have a
What time was that? Like 3:30?
That was about I got there about 3:00.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I had looked at the forecast. It said it might rain, and I thought about maybe not bringing the SL, just taking the GLC over. And I said, no, this is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people were leaving as I was getting there.
Yeah.
And so, fast forward, Sunday, I get up early, and I think, you know what? I'm going to, early bird gets the worm. I'm
Sure.
going to get over there and,
Yeah.
really walk around, see some cars.
Yeah, you have to get there by like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really allow till 9, but you can get on there
Yeah.
8:30ish. But the earlier, the better, because
You park the car.
Oakland's a mess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, being local, it made it easier
Yeah,
for me.
for you.
Oh,
I
sure.
know,
Yeah.
I know how to get there. I can take like a back road or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I arrive, and as I drive on, the Sandra, who runs the Mercedes-Benz Club in this area,
Yes.
she waved me down, and she said, "Do you want to go in the parade?" And I didn't really know what she was talking about.
Sure.
I sort of looked at her puzzled. So, what? She said, "We need another car for the parade. Can you? The only thing you have to do is take your top down."
Oh, really?
So, well, I had never at that point.
Are there beads involved?
At
Right.
that point, I had never taken the hard top off.
Oh, okay.
So this was, I'd had it serviced. I'd been out in it multiple times. But, it's a two-man job to take off the hard top.
Yeah.
And I'd never done that myself.
No, you can't do it yourself.
And there were two brothers who were there, the Conforti brothers.
They're
Have
big
you met those guys?
Oh, yeah.
These are big Mercedes guys out of West Virginia.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
and one of the brothers, he helped me take the top off. We set it on one of those like circular tables.
Yeah.
Somebody threw down some blankets, and I drove up onto the hill into the Mercedes area. Basically, took my top off, took the hard top off, and drove off with 3 other convertibles.
That's
it was hilarious.
fantastic.
I'm like, there's Edward.
It's
And
like
first year. He's in the parade.
First year involved.
Women are, on the, hands up.
Yeah.
He's in the parade. I mean, I'm like,
He's coming down the entry.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
woman in the
hilarious.
back of his car.
And I had shaved down to just the mustache.
yeah.
And put
Yeah.
on the Hawaiian
The Top
shirt
Gun look.
for the exactly.
Yeah, the whole
for the channeling Goose, channeling Rooster, channeling Magnum PI.
So
Right.
red convertible.
Right.
I had a rather bushy beard before the Grand Prix, and Jason's like, it's going to be hot. So I decided to just like trim it down.
Mm-hmm.
I considered just the mustache, but I look like a pedophile.
No, honestly, you look 10 years younger with it trimmed down.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's big and bushy, people think I'm like 50.
Yeah. That lady
Yeah.
at the Bamboo one time was like, "Are you 45?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my goodness."
I'm like
He's
29.
35.
I'm 35. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But, I do like it longer, but it's nice when it's, I want it to look more a professional. Okay, so
So then I have they ask me, and I'm in the parade. I don't know what that means. They say
Yeah.
you're going to have an ambassador,
yeah.
Yep.
and so one of the adults from the school, Carl, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He had a blast.
Yeah.
I guess it was one of the women who runs the school and does development. Her name escapes me right now. She was sitting in the back of my car.
Because you had your
kinda
roll
like
bar up, right?
Had the
Yes.
roll bar up.
Yes.
Okay.
So she
And
can
then-
hold on to that.
And then we
Okay.
drove around. And,
Yeah.
And as I was pulling out, there was a Mustang, an orange Mustang that like pulled in front of me. So the Mustang was inserted in between the Mercedes convertibles.
They were trying to break it
in
up.
true Mustang fashion. I mean, of course, the guy that owns a Mustang
Yeah.
Had to get in the line.
had to exactly.
Yeah.
Just to make everyone aware, every year the Grand Prix has what's called a mark, which is the is the featured vehicle, and this year it was Porsche, and I thought it was interesting that the parade I thought maybe it would be not all Porsches.
Well, there
but,
was a few,
yeah.
but you can pay to go in the parade.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
but when they want to take the ambassadors, they ask for convertibles.
Sure.
So there are usually not a ton of convertibles because Mercedes they had a new spot on the field this year.
Right.
So
they had a good showing.
They had a great showing.
Great showing, yeah.
So like last year, I took an ambassador in a Bentley convertible.
Okay.
So it's good that they asked you because you guys had quick access down there.
Yeah.
Right.
And that car obviously looks awesome.
Yeah.
To go around.
And also, obviously, like all the Mercedes are together, all the Porsches, tons of Porsches, obviously, this year. Obviously, all the Italian cars are together.
Oh, there had to be like 800 Porsches.
Yeah,
It was
unbelievable.
insane.
Unbelievable. And, it's a big VW section and, like you name it. And plus vendors and food and
Like a festival,
and like the dealerships. It was the Cadillac. Wasn't there a Cadillac or
Tier 2? Yeah, like the Cadillac as a brand went. It wasn't dealership specific.
Yeah, it was more. Like
they had Blackwings there and everything. It was a strong show.
So it is the vintage Grand Prix. So there's definitely a leaning towards vintage cars, classic cars. But you could also go there and go to the Maserati tent and see the brand new MC20. That's coming out. When's that car? Well,
it's out now.
Yeah, I mean that car.
That was an owned car. That was
and you can go to the Bentley tent and see a brand new Bentley. They don't do it anymore.
Mercedes had an AMG GT.
Yeah, so
yellow.
Obviously, the racing is all vintage. Mostly, yeah.
Yes.
Like when I was looking up the racing, there's like a 1964 Austin Healey one, a 70 Porsche 914, a 59 Austin Healey Sprite, 71 Triumph, 70 Porsche, 77 ARR Eagle. So, these are, vintage races. And I wanted to ask Jason, I don't understand this at all. Okay, so obviously...
I probably understand it even less.
An under 1.5 liter race. So I'm assuming...
Yeah, those are just 1,000cc cars.
Yeah.
Small engine.
Under 2 liter race, over 2 liter race.
Yeah.
Sports cars, sports racers, and Formula. Then there's the pre-war. There was a car from 1939 in that race.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, see now for next year, now that I'm kind of, this.
Well, we've decided we're going to start a race team. The three of us.
Yes. So we are going to start an AR race team.
Kona could be like the mascot.
Yeah, she can be
Kona Racing.
Yeah, Kona
Boom.
Kona Motorsport or Kona Motor Cars.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
KMC.
She is here, by the way.
Yeah.
Back
in her spot.
Her cast is off. She's a little skittish around jumping up, down on couches and stuff, but she's kind of getting the feel for...
Still wants belly rubs.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And, but anyway, so the racing was awesome to watch. 1 on 9 was fantastic. Obviously, they had wine. And it's called Wine on 9 because that's...
And they had the wine slushy.
Yes.
Wine slushies.
The wine slushy.
Slushies are the
That's
best.
really popular
So that
now.
was actually up at the Cortile so it's right near the clubhouse.
But his wine is down below too.
Yeah.
Just not the slushy.
So the slushy machine was up where the Cortile, where the Italian cars were.
Yeah, he had a tent.
But then they had his wine down at the Wine on 9. Now, is that the 9th hole or is that the 9th turn?
9th turn.
That's the 9th turn. It's the 9th turn.
Turn 9.
Because it is kind of like on a golf course, which still kind of like blows my mind.
Yeah.
That we're literally on it.
Wait, but it wasn't the Wine on 9 was by that little
Westinghouse pond.
There's a little pond.
Yeah. So that it's not like we were literally having wine and Permani's sandwiches on like a green, but it's the golf course prop. Like it's all around the golf course. But the Wine on 9 event is great. You're right there at turn 9. The cars are. Oh my god! I was like a little kid.
Yeah. That's actually a place to come and just hang out.
That is
it. And you can stay there all day.
Yeah, that's a destination for Sunday.
If you just go Sunday, then it's worth going there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, it is if it made you feel like a kid. There were elements of the Grand Prix that made me feel like a kid again because it's like not the last one that I've been to, but the one that like stands out the most is walking through there with my dad, looking at all of the cars.
Sure.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
And that would have been, awesome, maybe like the 10th Grand Prix.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
8th Grand Prix.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it started 83. So
this is the 40th anniversary, and we're all approaching 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, 83.
Yeah. So, wow.
So it was the 39th one because we didn't have one last year in 20 because of COVID.
Okay. So it's the 40th anniversary, but I say the 40th actual Grand Prix because of our good friend, the coronavirus.
Yeah, right.
That has just been helping us so much. COVID-19. It's actually
alpha strain. You have to specify that was the alpha strain. It's not to be
came from China.
China came from China.
Wait, what did you tell me? Someone online put like what's the city?
Yeah, United Airlines was like, did you see that? What city changed your life? And somebody was like Wuhan. That's fun. It's such a corny thing to say, but and that's hilarious.
And that's one of those tell us a city that changed
Yeah.
your life. And then
Paris, London, New York,
yeah.
Barcelona, Wuhan.
And everybody was like, this guy memes.
This
Yeah.
guy.
This guy memes.
This
Yeah,
guy.
for
he's,
sure.
He's the one.
He
So,
has major experience with memes.
It's Wuhan.
Wuhan.
Oh.
Oh man.
That is really funny.
So, what was your Sunday? You stayed a while because you came over and,
Yes.
and stopped at the tent.
Yep.
While we were having lunch at the Bentley tent, and did you stay for a bit after that, or did you head out and home?
So after I did the ambassador run.
Yeah, because you came over and had lunch with us.
So I
Then
did the
you
ambassador
run.
I did the run before I did
right before
run, and then I came over and had lunch with you guys.
Yeah.
And I had stopped at the Mercedes tent, had a beer with the group.
Yep.
And they all seemed very appreciative that I just jumped in and was willing to drive around.
So tell us how did the club have catered food, or how did
Yes,
how did
they
you guys
did.
do it?
It was brought in. I think it was like a Mancini's Bakery.
Oh,
Bread from Mancini's Bakery. I think it was Bob's Diner. I remember seeing that
okay.
as a logo, and it was all kind of Italian centric. So, first day, sausage sandwiches, meatball hoagies.
Yep.
I think there was like a veal marsala. I can't remember if it was like chicken or veal.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
then
Wow.
fruit, cookies,
My goodness,
soft drinks,
time to.
and BYOB.
Time
Yeah,
to go to
it
the
was
Mercedes
actually
Club.
Yeah, I might have to.
I've never parked at the Mercedes. All the years. Never.
Well,
parked
I
there.
mean, you're
It's,
highly involved in the Italian car.
Well,
And plus, you
Did
know,
they have Italian food at the Cortez?
Well, of
well,
course,
we're
yes.
we're definitely going to
So
go
we'll get to that.
We're going to go through Saturday.
but
was it
I'm
like
curious.
but was it Italian, or was it like
It was-
Pittsburgh Italian?
it was
sausage
Italian.
sausage
No,
sandwiches.
It was Italian.
no, it was yeah. Well, we'll just say it was. They had a salad, obviously,
Yeah.
and then they had this like lemon pepper chicken.
Yeah.
And then they had pasta,
Meatballs.
and they had meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, who run, I guess he runs the Cortile, right?
Yeah.
Jim's, he made pizzelles.
Pizza. Okay, pizza.
So
And then there was
homemade
cookie
pizzelles.
trays.
There
Yep,
was
yep.
cookie trays
and a bar.
Yep.
and a bar and garlic.
You
and,
know, it's
and,
a little
and
expensive.
breadsticks.
A Coke was
The
$5.
You know, I have
was
to
like,
say.
listen.
So you were selling that you had to buy the stuff in that?
No. The
okay,
food.
well.
Okay, the food was part of your
Ticket.
your
Of the
like
ticket.
ticket.
The food.
So
but then the booze was.
but the
Separate.
it was a
Got it.
cash bar. But I'm surprised the soda was not was $5. But hey,
The
listen,
judges should get kind of
soda
free
was
pop.
$5 because we had
yeah.
we had Coke in abundance and all
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stick your
Should have went
hand in
down there
you're
and just
good to
grabbed
go.
a few.
I know, right?
Well,
I
the
feel-
German efficiency. We
Yeah.
were.
Well, you know why I asked is Italian food is the cheapest to cater because it's filling, it's heavier, and it can feed a lot of people.
Yes.
So pastas and chicken goes a long way. Potatoes, things like that.
Yeah.
Meatballs.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there was a
German food is more expensive
yeah.
to cater.
There was
We
a
had a little chicken cutlet.
yeah.
One day,
Yeah.
kind of like a like a schnitzel.
Schnitzel,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a
Okay.
We had a
There
schnitzel
were
also.
meatballs, but there was also a pasta in like a was that like a white was it like a
The Alfredo kind
oh
of.
yeah it was an
that
Alfredo.
was very good.
Yeah, I couldn't mess with that.
That was
No,
good.
but I mean an Alfredo's an abomination. That's not that shouldn't.
Well,
be.
that's that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
that's
right.
You
like
can do that
American
in
Chinese
America. Yeah, you
food.
can
Yeah,
do that in America. That's
Yeah.
the General Tso's chicken.
yeah,
of,
that's
of Italian food.
But it was but essentially
yeah,
the club provides it. You know, we buy so many lunches and then
yeah,
usually around 230 lunches, and so there's no waste.
yeah.
So that it worked out, you know. But the Bentley tent had the best. I mean,
So
let's be honest.
the Bentley tent. So I'm very fortunate to be friends with Mr. Showtime, Mr. Jason
Yeah.
Showtime
Oh
Oka.
yeah, right.
Because not only did I enjoy a wonderful Italian meal on Saturday, but on Sunday I got to go to the Bentley tent and get chicken on a stick.
Well, I thought that was like a Swedish meatball. I mean, you had all
we
kinds.
had
Listen.
lots of
Looked like-
options.
From pasta
Was
salad
that a
to
Chablis
potato
I saw
salad,
somebody drinking?
Yeah, right, that's right.
and the chicken on a stick, and just like he even had ham and turkey sliders.
I asked for cold sliders.
Yeah.
So this year, instead of going heavier, I asked them for a little more option, but lighter
Yeah.
fare.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out a lot better.
Yeah, it was very
And
good.
people really were happy with the selections.
You know, the chicken on a stick, right? I kind of wanted like one to go, you know, because we were going to be heading back to the Cortile, and I just kind of like, because they're so good.
Was this like a Thai chicken skewer?
No. I don't even know.
Like
barbecue.
More like a barbecue-ish kind of thing.
So good.
And I go to reach to grab one because I'm going to just take it to go.
Right.
And he whacks me with his tongs, and he goes, I don't know how you do it on other people's buffets, but on my buffet, I serve you. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
So I had to get a plate, and he put it on my plate.
Yeah, we don't mess around.
I'm like, dude, I just want to grab one like for the road, you know?
Yeah.
I like that, though. That's good. He's
No,
enforcing some sense of decorum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, you know.
We need some more manners these days.
No, I totally get it.
Especially in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
And these Gen Z kids, I mean, they're just
they're animals.
hand right into. Yeah, they are.
They're animals.
Right into pasta salad.
Yeah, they just grab it with their hands. It's
they're
like Rugrats.
Their sleeve tattooed, dirty hands,
dirty paws
that were just digging in their nose or their ear or their poorly cut hair. I mean, it's really.
Have I reached that point where I'm just the? I hope I know.
Boomer.
Boomer.
Big. You know, I got to pull the socks up high. And clip the phone to the
back. That's the
just
move.
Really go for it.
Have you guys ever seen Ben Affleck's back tattoo?
No.
So I'm talking to my brother today. I'm on the phone, and I don't even know how this came up. He goes, check out. Have you ever seen Ben Affleck's back tattoo?
No.
He literally has, from the bottom of his neck down to his ass crack, a huge phoenix.
Oh, really?
It is. I don't know what possessed him to get this, but it is the biggest, hideous thing I've ever seen like in my life. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
Something.
I was like, where are we going with that?
Google it.
Oh, because of the tattoo.
Because of the tattoo.
I don't really want to see.
I mentioned the tattooed hand going to pasta salad.
But you know what? Right, I honestly, like Dan came over and he's like, the Bentley tent has the best food.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, we usually just have a tent and then like whoever wants to come, we just feed and.
Sure.
Right.
But this year we ticketed it. So you had to be on a list to get in and we fenced it off because people just come and just want free handouts.
Yeah, because you know there are vendors there. Like Firehouse Subs had a truck right next to the Bentley tent. Well, that's not free. Obviously, you have to pay for that food. But if you see a buffet over under this tent and everyone's just kind of like going over there, you might. Do you want to talk about?
Did you do like a wristband system or like your name? Okay.
Yeah, we had like a check-in system, wristbands, and then
You want to mention the guy whose daughter had a birthday, or not a birthday, a bathroom of emergency?
Listen to this.
Uh-oh.
So Mike and I were like, let's go over to the Bentley tent. Like, I got to get out of here for a couple minutes. Let's go grab a lunch Sunday.
Oh, get out of the Italian area.
Aside. Yeah, just go take a break and grab a bite to eat. Because Sunday at the Italian Center, there's no lunch. Lunch is on your own.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go down there and grab some food. And then the caterer and I know each other well.
Sure.
So I wanted to go thank him in any way and go say hi to him and see how things were going. So I go down there and we pull up in the golf cart and there is a guy there with a stroller and two girls.
Yes.
Or two children.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other one was a boy. I wasn't paying attention. He's like, I was like, I just want to leave you enough room so you can like kind of get out. Cause I didn't want to block him in. He goes, yeah, we have this one has to use the emergency bathroom or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, porta potties.
Yep.
About 25 yards away.
Right. Yeah.
And then we walk in and then Mike goes, Jay, look at that. And she's just popping a squat right next to the new Bentley.
She literally peed.
Doing her thing.
Right next to
just pulled her pants down. And he's like, that's okay. Like, just let it go.
But
next to a $400,000 automobile. He was so appalled. He was so upset.
I was just like, I mean, I don't have children, so I don't know.
I don't have children.
I don't know what it's like when you're
B3.
So,
but wait a second. If how old was this kid?
Like 5 or 6.
That's pushing it.
5 or 6, I'd say.
That's for
4,
sure. Like a
4, maybe 4.
Like a 3-year-old, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a 3-year-old. You know, you're like,
yeah, they don't know the distance.
They don't.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like, if you can go to kindergarten, you can go to the porta potty.
So
I feel like kindergarten's the cutoff line.
Yeah, I have a friend. She has 2 little kids, and I was telling her this.
Although, wait a second. To be fair, is this like dad with daughters, no mom around?
No mom.
No mom.
So
it's a little, maybe.
That's kind of a dad move.
He was kind of like, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And he kind of created a distraction. He was kind of like, pretended to be interested in the Bentley.
Yeah.
And the daughter's like popping
I
a
feel
squat.
like my dad would tell me to do something like that. Just go pee next to that truck.
I will never whip it out in front of others.
So, so my friend has 2 little kids, and what she was telling me is that they don't have a concept of time and distance, and they don't mention it until it's an emergency. There's no like, I kind of need to use the restroom. Maybe we should head towards one. It's I have to pee right now. Like not in a mile, not in 2 feet. Like she said, they don't really have a concept of, preparing for something. It just kind of hits them, and
maybe this was like a Rolls Royce family, and they just wanted to. Is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like remember the decal you used to see of like Calvin peeing on the Chevy logo?
Yeah, right.
It's basically that.
Yeah, I was just
real life version of that.
Listen.
I was thinking about getting that for the SL.
Just
peeing on the BMW logo.
I'm all for get 2. I'll put one online. Listen.
Show up to the next ambassador parade.
Yeah,
exactly. The Calvin peeing on
real
the BMW.
Pittsburgh move. It's a public golf course in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You're going to get a few creatures.
Yep.
Kind of coming through.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some people oddly dressed.
Yes.
So you were talking about the Italian area, which is, I felt like there were more, say, creatures.
Oh yeah.
Over on that side. Well, on the Italian side with the Cars and Coffee by the Vipers.
Yeah.
Whereas if you got over the hill on the other side of Shenley Road and you were going through
British Car Day or
British Porsche,
Jaguar,
BMW, whatever, everything over there seemed a bit
more civilized.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I have a theory as to why.
Oh, I'd like to hear that theory.
Italian cars put asses in the seats.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see.
They want to see Lambos and the Ferraris and that Testarossa.
Okay.
If I had my checkbook,
that's one.
I would have driven that home. Yeah. I would have driven
100%.
Sure.
Ferrari Philadelphia, you did a great job.
Yes.
You brought a Testarossa. It's what?
1989 red Testarossa, 13,000 miles.
Oh my goodness!
I would hang that on my wall.
Yeah, it's obscene.
It's art.
When they were driving that on the field on Friday, I was like, listen, stop, stop, just look, admire.
You don't have to be into car. See, when a car has that effect on anyone, like you don't have to be a car guy. Or into to just when you see that vehicle, next to it were like brand new Ferraris,
new Ferrari that didn't capture you anywhere near as much.
No, that Testarossa, it's like the Countach, it's just that
Magnum PI,
poster car,
Don Johnson,
poster car, 100%. That car looks.
I've always told
quick.
You there are a lot of great cars ever made, but there are very very few cars that matter.
Yes. Oh yeah, okay.
That's a car that matters.
Well, the Testarossa.
That car matters.
Because
it's a cultural icon.
Isn't that in Baby Got Back?
I don't know.
John Edwards.
Testarossa.
Yeah.
There were early, like 90s era rap songs that talked about the Testarossa.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, it's
yeah. When
Miami Vice.
When you're walking down that row, it was 2 rows of Ferraris. You're walking down that aisle, and that Testarossa pops up. It's
boom.
We're gonna stare at this for a few hours.
So here's part of the deal. Every 15, 16, 17-year-old with a camera thinks they're a professional photographer.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So
especially
they
these
bring
days.
their groupies.
Yeah.
Their little girlfriend or their whatever.
Yeah.
And they all hang out up there. So it's always crowded up there and a little more, you get a more diverse crowd because a lot of those people just stay on that side of the field. They don't even bother to go across the street.
Well, it's also closer to the parking. It's closer to the road. It's closer to Forbes Avenue. There's no way if you're
it's true.
where they put BMW, is like the deepest. You're as deep.
You're stuck.
Into you can't go anywhere.
No,
there's no way to get there.
No,
so,
they were so stuck when that storm hit.
They were buried.
Didn't
something hit an M4? Like
a tree fell on an M4. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, that's what you get for buying an M4.
Oh boy.
Can't argue with you there. No, but just from the configuration, you have the Cars and Coffee, the Vipers, and the Italian stuff all there on the lawn, right in front of the Pittsburgh Golf Club, just off of.
And the vets were all there too, on the bottom half of that hill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So all the Corvette, which on Saturday there were, 350 vets.
Yeah.
So vets, Vipers, Cars and Coffee, and then Cortile. And then food vendors. I mean, I think the better food's actually on the Italian Hill this year.
Yeah.
Specifically, the main side doesn't have as good a food. I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just different because people were coming over to the Cortile Saturday and they were like, I can't believe how many people are over here. They were like, it's so much different. And I'm like, well, it's smaller. I don't think there's more people, but it's a smaller area, so you don't notice it as much.
So how much is the Grand Prix itself involved in or have any say? Because I felt like for the Cortile, this is our area, and we get to decide what to do with it. Cars are going to go here, tent's going to go there. Like the food trucks are like going to go here. Like, I mean, does the Grand Prix pretty much say, well, it's your space to use? To like how much power
to the committee?
No, to like the club, like the Cortile. Obviously,
the Cortile has the same spot every year.
Every year,
how we want to arrange the field is up to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we could put Ferraris where Vipers were, or in next year, or actually last year we had some French cars where the Fiats were. This year.
Okay.
At the end, like towards 109.
Yeah.
Tree line over there.
Yes.
So it really just depends on pre-registration as to okay, we see there are 30 Ferraris and there are 27 Alphas and there are 8 Fiats. Well, the Fiats obviously don't need as much room.
Sure.
So we'll put them in a more narrow part of the field. So that is determined by really who pre-registers.
Okay.
And then we decide. And then where the sponsor tents are. So Maserati was a sponsor, Pittsburgh, and then, and then Ferrari Philadelphia came.
Yeah.
So, they were kind of like anchored the Cortile.
Yeah, there was a good showing of Ferraris.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So Saturday,
very good.
Saturday,
solid.
Yeah. Sunday is kind of, at least for us, I felt more of a enjoy the day, enjoy Wine on 9. There was nothing really official going on with the Cortile. For us, all the events, the official events are really on Saturday.
Yes.
And that's when the cars come to be judged. And that's really about presenting your car.
Well, for people that don't know, the Grand Prix Saturday is International Car Show Day.
Okay.
That's the day you bring your car and everybody brings their car and that's the most amount of people.
Yes.
Your international car. International car show.
Yeah. And then Sunday is, if you want to come back, you can come back. It's more race focused.
Yes.
So those are more like hardcore people that come back Sunday.
Yeah.
And then, if you're busy Saturday, then the casual person can come Sunday.
Yeah.
And still see some things.
Sure.
The vendors and the sponsors are still there.
Yeah, and it definitely
so there are fewer cars.
Oh,
yes.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday there were
definitely
fewer vehicles.
Saturday, you got to be there Saturday.
That's good to know for somebody like me who missed because of work.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Saturday's the day,
and then Saturday afternoon is rained out.
Yeah, Saturday's the day.
You're seeing less on a Sunday.
Oh, by 50%.
Like
50%.
There was a couple who brought their Alfa Romeo Spider, I believe it was, all the way from Boston.
Yeah.
So they're probably driving back on Sunday.
They're back on the road.
So Saturday is the day. And then Sunday they're probably on their way back.
Saturday there were 4,000 cars.
Yeah.
On the field.
It's a lot of cars.
Wow.
Yeah. Sunday most Maseratis didn't return.
Yeah.
Very few Alphas returned.
Yeah.
But Ferraris came back and the winner's circle people all came back, which was great. So yeah, I mean, it's a different feel. It's a more casual feel Sunday.
Yeah.
And you can go and just kind of do what you want to do and just
chill. So on Saturday, besides having a great lunch, there was also during lunch a speaker, Yvonne Ruiz, who is the car nut. You can check him out on thecarnut.com.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I was wondering that.
Thecarnut.com.
Yeah.
And he was there to give a talk about the history of Maserati. He is a big Jaguar and Maserati guy. He's been like...
Oh, Jaguar too?
Like collecting. I think if you go on his website, I didn't like read the whole website, but I'm pretty sure, I think his first car, like the first car he bought to like rebuild and like, you know, I think was a Jaguar, but don't quote me on that. You can go to his website, thecarnut.com, and check out him. And he gave, like I said, a nice talk about the history of Maserati because... So Porsche was the mark for the whole Grand Prix.
Yes.
The Cortile has its own mark, which was this year Maserati.
Right.
So he came to talk about that.
Oh, and by the way, just real quick, next year, the Cortile mark is Ferrari.
All right.
So we expect a very large turnout of Ferraris.
Yeah.
It'll be probably bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Pre-register if anybody's listening.
Yeah.
Please pre-register.
So I got to get my. So I should get my Ferrari between now and then.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you need to register because drive-ups, although we welcome them, you know, it's hard to park.
Register.
Get your ticket early. I mean, you don't have to get it early. It's open for 3 months.
Yeah.
You can register for 3 months long.
Yeah.
So it's not like you only have this like 4-day window to do it.
Exactly.
You can do it, but
this guarantees you a spot on the field, pretty much, right? A goodie bag
in both days.
Yeah,
Goodie
both
bag.
days. A goodie bag.
All right.
A lunch.
Yep.
You know, access to the golf clubs. Use the
and
bathroom.
you may win an award.
And
well, but I already have that.
Well,
yeah. Well.
Yeah. That's right.
So, like I mentioned at the top of the show, Jason is the head judge for the Cortile.
Mm-hmm.
And myself and I guess there were 7 of us total, Jason and then 6 other judges. And we were split into 2 groups. My group voted on the Alfa Romeos, the Lamborghinis, the French cars, because they're part of the... We welcomed them into the Cortile family, and we thought, well, we need to have a best French car award. And then Italian...
The Transalpini.
Yeah, and then like Italian specialty. Like only one Vespa showed up, so can't have like a best of Vespa. You know, there's all kind of like launches and all kind of different.
There are some smaller micro brands, but we don't Panteras and we don't discourage them from coming. We want them to come, but they're in a group by themselves.
But obviously, you know, we're not going to have 10 Vespa cars there. You know. But so the best Ferrari was a 1989 328 GTS.
Yellow. I'll always say the color, too.
Yes, yellow. It was yellow.
And the yellow looks great in a 328. It's fantastic. It was a very clean car. I believe it was out of state. I believe it was an out-of-state car.
I did not write
I think
that
it was
down.
a Delaware car.
We got to try to bring it home.
We got to try to bring it home
for next year.
Oh, yeah, for you. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
And so... Last year
for my next trick.
For your next trick, yeah. Last year a 328 won too, a red one. They were just a sweet spot because they're just old enough. They still have the classic look, classic lines. They aged really, really well.
Yeah,
they're a phenomenal driver. And then we get a lot of like modern cars.
Yeah,
and it is the vintage Grand Prix, so we do weight older cars. There was a 62 250 Pininfarina bodied GT there, cab, but we couldn't find the owner.
Yeah, so
to judge the car.
If you want to be judged, you really need to be with the vehicle.
You must be with the
That's
vehicle.
just the bottom line.
Yes.
We ask you to open the hood, open the vehicle, open the trunk. I mean,
but sorry, this guy had a 62. And he like went and
but here's the thing.
He went to Firehouse Subs by the Bentley.
Some people might not. They just want to park the car and walk around. I mean, you don't have to be judged. I mean, there's no obligation if you're bringing. I brought a 2011.
No, but he didn't like stand by it with a taser gun. I would have.
Yeah, right. No,
that's like an electric fence around it.
Listen, I would have loved to have given that car some sort of recognition.
Yeah,
but I didn't know who. I didn't meet the owner.
Yeah.
They weren't around. We waited a few times with the car.
Sure.
I hovered around there for a bit to try to catch somebody that knew about the car. Crickets.
Yeah.
So we couldn't give it anything.
Yeah.
But it was an unrestored barn find car, which is
this was
very cool.
Yeah. So did you see the barn find car? I don't know if it was there Sunday.
No.
So basically, it's literally a barn find. It's rusted. It's not restored at all.
Yeah, no paint on it.
No
anymore.
paint. Looks like someone just pulled it right out of a barn after the past 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to look at because often you see the restored vehicle, obviously
60-year-old.
But it's really a cool thing to see a barn car. Yeah, very, very interesting. So I believe it was blue. The best Maserati, I believe, was a blue 1961 3500 GT. I think it was blue, right?
Yeah, a 35 a Sebring. Listen, that car is a all-time classic. It's beautiful in the blue.
Mm-hmm.
I know the owner well.
Yeah, it was a nice car.
It's been in my show.
Yeah.
It's been in the showroom. I featured the car. He wanted to be judged. It's hard to compete with a vintage Maserati when Maserati was the spotlight car.
Sure, yeah.
So he deserved, something, and that car is a gem. I mean, it's a true star.
Yeah, and I have to say that as far as being judged, the judges were wearing judges' hats that said judge, shirts that said judge, all matching blue shorts tucked in. So we had these like straw hats.
We didn't blend in.
No. There were obviously 7 judges roaming around. So
this isn't like food writing where you're trying to be,
no,
sliding under the radar.
No.
You're like, hey, guess what? I'm going to look at your car and judge it.
Exactly. And so actually, I was asked to judge cars. So like people knew we were there. People are aware of it.
Hey, come over, judge my car.
I was approached at least 3 times to. Can my car be judged? Can I be part of this? And of course, we would go over. Or like I didn't do Maserati, so if it was I think a Maserati owner came up to me, so I got the other group, said, "Hey, this guy wants to be judged. Just say stay with your vehicle, get it opened up, and we'll be over to handle it." So people are aware that we stand out a little bit. So the Fiat was a 1964 2300S coupe. Was that red?
No, blue.
Oh, that was
dark
also blue.
Beautiful car. I've never seen that car. Maybe it's been there. I don't know. But that's the first time I put eyes on that car, up close at least. And it was deserving winner. I mean, gorgeous car. What year was it again?
1964.
64. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking 62. But yeah, gorgeous car. The interior was stunning.
Yeah.
Really, really well done, and it was nice to see a vintage Fiat there. I mean, really cool to see.
Fiat had a nice showing.
They really did.
Yeah, they had a nice showing this year.
Yes, they did. That's a big group of owners too nationally. Yeah. They do like the Fiat Freakout.
Okay,
it's like their own club meet, and that's a big show.
Yeah, and the best Lamborghini was a 2006 Murcielago in green.
Well, that's not why it won.
No,
it's a 6-speed.
Oh.
That's a gated 6-speed Murcielago, which is the rarest of birds. So that carried a lot of weight. To bring that car is skyrocketed in value. At one point it was it dipped to like a $200,000 car, and now it's probably every penny of $750,000.
Wow. That's insane.
Whoa.
That is insane.
Yeah. That will be $1 million car.
Holy heck.
Yes, he needs to hold on to that. That will absolutely be. That is the last 6-speed Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Gated shifter Lamborghini. So he needs to keep that.
So just because I'm curious, who pays $1 million for a car?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You know what? We may have had this exact conversation the last time I was on the podcast.
Yeah.
Is it all just Saudi?
Yeah, no.
Well, no, like his dream cars an F40, right?
Yeah,
that's between 2 and 3 million, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want an F40 and you're Jeff Bezos or something, 2 to 3 million. Yeah, I mean someone like Bezos and Musk.
But it's like a Bezos. It's a.
I mean,
Musk.
I mean, a lot of the people have owned that car when it was $400,000.
Yeah. Oh well, that's what. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So now they're asking 2 to 3 for it.
Right. Okay. So it's just rarity. People put them around a tree or through a cement wall or whatever it is. And it's a numbers game. They already don't make many.
Fewer and fewer and fewer.
Fewer and fewer cars made. So they made 1,299 F40s. Okay.
Yeah.
So there maybe, let's say 1,010 still exist.
Yeah.
Well, if you're one of there's 7 billion people on Earth, and there's only 1,000 owners.
So they redid the Countach, but they only made what, 20?
Yeah, something like
that.
Yeah, a modern Countach.
So that's a modern car, but in time, there's only 20 of them.
Yeah.
So, in 50 years,
it'd be $7-8 million.
Exactly.
Right.
To get your hands on one of these reissued Countaches.
Right.
So the best Alfa Romeo, one of my favorite cars of the show, was a 1958 Giulietta Spider in red. This car was gorgeous, and when I saw it, I voted on the Alphas, or I was one of the judges for the Alphas, and I said, guys, there's a lot of Alphas here. Yeah. They're beautiful vehicles, but this car... Also, we weight story as well. So we
very much so.
We look at body, we look at engine, interior, and we want to know about the vehicle.
Like John, for example. Let's just pretend his Mercedes was Italian for a minute. If we were judging his car, we would say, tell us the story. And you'd say, I went on this podcast.
Yes.
And, I was interested. I had this seed planted to get a vintage car.
Yep, correct.
And then I went out and bought one, and then next thing you know, there's a girl in the back, and I'm in a parade.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you're like, wow, cool story. Like that's what it's about, right? So it's just the kind of the evolution of how you got the car, how the car came about, and how it came into your possession, and maybe it's heirloom.
You skipped over the part where you and I texted each other car ideas for like 2 months.
Well, listen, but that's it. I mean. Yeah. Listen, who else are you gonna? You ask your friends and you ask people. Yeah. I own one.
Yeah.
So it's I have the same car. So I always say, if you go and ask every people about certain cars, they'll kind of regurgitate a article from Car and Driver circa 1997 or something, and it's like, have you ever driven one? Well, no. Then how do you know? No. Always get your information from somebody who has owned one or is a longtime owner. Yeah. They will give you the nuts and bolts, of what you need to know.
That describes exactly how the last 2 cars I bought.
Yeah, see? There you go.
The GLC 43, which is out in your driveway right now.
Yeah.
Great car, by the way.
I had been given a GLC 300 by the dealership with my when I had my E350 in for service. It took forever to get whatever part from Germany, and so I just had this GLC 300 for 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, this is a great vehicle.
Yeah,
I'm really liking this, and so I wanted the bigger engine. I like the AMG grill.
Yep.
So
well, let me tell you, loaner cars. That is a I don't know what to call it, a point of sale or a.
It's a sales tech. It's absolutely a sales technique.
Yeah. So when I had
get him in the new one, get him driving around the new one, you're like, ooh. So I like that, camera. I can see with that camera. See the back camera.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My Lexus of 2017, and I believe that was the second year for that redesign.
Yep, 16.
And I had my car in for service a couple months ago, and the service and Michelle, who was on the show a few shows ago. Purposely gave me a brand new NX. Now, it's a smaller version of my car, but it had the new infotainment system. And it's just all touchscreen, all Apple Play, CarPlay, all that stuff integrated. And it's like, the RX is going to be updated soon with the same infotainment system. And it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't experience that unless I got a loaner car with that in it. So it's definitely a sales technique.
Absolutely.
So, like we talked about earlier, there is an award for a best Italian specialty car, a brand that maybe only 1 or 2 show up, and it was a 1959 Vespa 400, and it was like this metallic, shiny silver.
Yeah, great car.
This car, I could wear this car as like a vest. Okay, that it is rather small. Okay.
Yeah, right. You should have asked him to sit in it.
Oh my God! I mean, clown car. If there ever was one, my knees would be out the windows. Yeah. So when I saw this vehicle, there was only one Vespa car there. When I saw this, I was like, Jay, this has to win something. People were crowded around it because I mean, it wasn't restored. It was all new. I mean, it was all. It wasn't. I don't think it was meant to be restored back to what it looked like in 1959. It was just
like new.
Yeah, it was this shiny silver on metallic paint. It had this like leather interior that looked like a 1950s diner. You know, like a red leather interior.
That.
Yeah, I know what really? Just what a cool car.
Yeah. And it top opens.
Yes. And so thank God we had this Italian specialty award, because I'm like, we got to give this guy something, because it's almost like it would have been like a crowd favorite award, or I mean, we have
fan favorite.
A fan favorite or something. I mean, we have the Italian specialty obviously, but if we didn't have that, I don't know, we could have given him a fan favorite. Someone run and get a gift certificate or something. You know what I mean? Because it was just such a cool, unique thing. And let me tell you, before I announce the Best in Show,
so kind of like the Keanu Reeves of Italian cars.
Yeah,
never won an Oscar that I know of or that I can think of. But everybody's like, oh yeah, Keanu, you gotta have him. Great guy. Yeah, great.
Also,
great set of films.
Well, first of all, his name's Norm.
Yeah.
And I know Norm he's been at my show.
Oh, for a second I thought you meant Keanu. I'm like, his name's actually Norm? That's fucking,
and the guy is just super cool and appreciative, and he wants to be there.
Yes.
At the end of the day, when you show a little enthusiasm, you're around your car.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to people are asking you about it, and you plant yourself there all day in 100-degree weather.
He literally is 110 years old. I'm sorry, Norm, but you're definitely older.
He's older.
And he was not walking around going to the Firehouse Subs.
No.
This show is brought to you by Firehouse Subs, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he was anchored there.
with his car the whole time, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
He wants to tell you about it.
That's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
He wants you to know about that.
He's not trying to sell it to anybody.
No.
He's not trying to he's not trying to park
How
it there.
thrilled was he to come up?
Let me tell you,
he's happy to be there.
That
made his day.
That's what I wanted to mention. Like the guy who won for the 1958 Alfa Romeo Spider. These people were so appreciative, literally in tears, so happy to not only be involved, but they won. Like the guy with the Alpha, I don't remember. I'm not going to go into detail, but it was his father had one. His father passed away. That's not his father's car, but then he got one to remember his father by. It's a whole beautiful story, and for us to say you have the best Alpha here. I mean, I'm going to cry. I mean, it's just this very emotional, very Norm. Just to give him an award for his Vespa, it's very exciting.
Imagine the hours.
Yeah,
all the time put into that thing.
That's
it's like those guys, big tough as nails, offensive linemen.
Yeah,
they win the Super Bowl and they're crying.
Oh yeah,
because that's every 5 a.m. lift.
Yeah,
that's every time that he had to oh shit.
The dedication your parents put in to take you to practice when you were a kid in Little 110%. League and all that.
But it's validation that you have a great car.
Yeah,
and Italian cars by nature are emotional.
Yes.
They're not like, I don't know. Are you okay?
Like Italian women.
Yeah.
Like Italian women. Right. They're more, am I wrong?
Can I,
no, you're
guys,
totally
can I
go look at a BMW. Does it stir your emotions?
Not really.
No.
When you look at a Testarossa, did you get a little less room in your pants?
Yeah. It is sexy.
There you go.
Well, it's Italian. It's sexy.
Yeah.
They're sexy vehicles.
That's Sophia Loren.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting so. Okay, so
you've already figured it out.
We will be filming this podcast at some point.
Yeah,
so the camera that's going to be on me, I'm going to have a Testarossa and Sophia Loren behind me, just so everyone knows the nature and mood of this show.
Yeah, but that's what it is. So those people, I believe, we're the only place that judges.
Yeah.
I think British Car Day, they do like a People's Choice or something, but we actually do it like for real.
Yeah,
so we go over there, and it's great to see. It's great to see these people happy.
Yeah,
and we give the awards during lunch. I gave you a nice introduction, by the way.
Oh yes,
John. I told everybody, I said, listen, I didn't just find this guy on the side of the road.
Yeah,
this is a professional opera singer.
Yeah. Yeah, they really wanted me to sing. By the way,
did they? Did they ask?
It was you have Yvonne talking.
Yeah,
you have this guy doing, I guess, like the live stream.
Yvonne's also like a little guy.
Yeah, he's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, he's a little bit like you know.
And this guy had this live stream camera contraption walking while we were deliberating. He had the camera like at the table, and I'm like, I think the best alpha should be this. And I'm like,
he was like in our junk.
And then there were other cameras and stuff, and then they wanted me to sing, and the accordion guy was playing, and I'm like,
that's a terrible.
I can't remember.
Can I ask you, how do you feel about that when people are like, sing for me?
Oh, well, it depends on how many drinks I've had, but so here's here's the deal.
As somebody who speaks Italian, whenever somebody's like, "Oh, speak Italian to this person," I have a very negative reaction to it, which is like, I'm not a trained monkey.
It's kind of like a monkey wind up toy kind of thing.
Clang in the
if I hang around a certain group too much, and they ask, what'll happen is after like at Jurgles or something, after a few drinks, I might sing. If there's what I usually do, I find a woman to sing to. Like, I'm not just gonna sing to 3 dudes. Okay, so if there's a woman,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's just you just
don't want to get monkeypox.
Yeah. It's just kind of like.
Can I open? Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Lou Gamber.
Okay.
The accordion.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So why I mentioned Yvonne was like a smaller guy is because if you go there and you're like standing next to him and you have like this booming voice.
Yeah.
He's like this diminutive, he's just giving this like soft toned speech.
Yeah.
You don't want to make it seem like you're trying to like, stage left, man, like get the hook.
But apparently one year the Cortile did have singers from the Pittsburgh Opera come and sing. But they had the accordion this year. But it's like, listen, I've just spent all day in 100-degree heat judging cars. I'm not singing.
I don't feel like singing.
Yeah. There was a piano and everything, but it's not appropriate, to just sing.
Wait, have you heard him do the full opera thing? You've heard that.
Oh yeah, he's seen me. He's seen me in the show. Yeah.
Have you ever seen him with like the other opera people? You
remember
you did that at your Christmas party in New York?
Yeah.
What?
I have video of that on I don't know if it's on this iPhone.
I've seen him. I've seen him destroy karaoke's at dive bars.
Oh yeah.
It's not really fair.
It's not
it's
right.
Not fair
but that's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best. Just bury somebody in
They're
karaoke.
like, hey, that guy kind of knows what he's doing.
They just poured their heart out doing, like
he's
living on a prayer. Yeah, right.
Yeah, here, you see those pieces of paper up there?
Yeah.
I can actually do it. It's up there.
Lou Gamber is every Thursday from 6 to 8. He's at Narcissi Winery.
Really?
The accordion guy.
Listen, we went to the.
That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We mentioned a couple shows ago we had a Narcissi thing. I really like it there.
I do too.
I'm going to bring that up again.
Yeah,
we should definitely have maybe like a 1-month Narcissi Winery night or something.
We should have him on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bring the accordion.
Wait, Lou Gambier or the Narcissi Winery?
A little both. Why not?
Why not?
Hey, we'd have Mary Lou.
We'd have Which one?
Mary.
There's 2. There's 2 Mary Lou's.
Mary Lou too.
Yeah,
Mary
Lou who?
Can't believe
Mary Lou.
You listen. That's one of the
the last Lou down in
random
Louisville.
things
I've never met a Mary Lou, and then there's 2 within 10 feet of me.
I'm like, there's another one right there.
Lou Gambier, Mary Lou, all the Lou's down in Louisville.
Oh my God! Well, back to we did like we mentioned, we had the French Quarter. So the best French car was a 1952 Citroen Traction Avant 15 CV. Now there were 4 Citroens.
Yeah, that's Carl's car. Yeah,
and this one won because it was the oldest. It was the more vintage. That kind of gave it a bit of an edge. Also, the guy used to work on these cars in Europe when he was in the Army.
Carl, yeah.
And then he couldn't afford to bring it back with him. And it was like his dream to always have one.
He called me a couple weeks ago. He goes, listen, the Citroen Club is going to go to that private garage we all went to.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go? And I said, what? There's going to be like 3 guys? He goes, I'm the president of the club. I was like, Carl, there's 3 members.
Yeah.
You're all officers of the club.
Yeah.
You have no members.
Have you ever driven a Citroen?
No. I have an SM long time ago.
Yeah, they're very unique.
Just like around the.
Yeah, they're very unique vehicles.
Not like open road highway. No.
Yeah,
because the ones in France they look like a Volkswagen, but they sound like a school bus.
Yeah. Well. They do kind of look like a Volkswagen.
They look like a Volkswagen, but they sound like a school. I mean,
they're very
the 404 was like, or was that is that the Citroen or is it the Peugeot?
That's a Peugeot, I think.
404. The 404. Is that a Peugeot?
I think so.
So my grandfather had one. I'm sorry to the car audience, to the French car enthusiasts.
We don't have one of those. We need to get one of those.
What?
What, a Peugeot?
Yeah.
Oh, at the show.
So you know what? Well, I might have to ask Jason about tell him some of my car ideas. I never got to tell him during the Grand Prix. But my dad always wanted a Rolls Royce.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And our friend in Coriopolis has one that sort of could use some tender love and care.
Yeah, because he doesn't take care of anything.
Well, he
takes care of everybody else's cars.
Yeah,
404 is a Peugeot.
Yeah.
For all the Peugeot fans.
The 404 featured prominently into Breathless with Jean-Paul Belmondo, famous for, cinema noir. That was Godard, one of Godard's famous films.
Okay.
And it's best to forget about the 404.
Okay.
They leave. This is classic 60s.
Peugeots don't have a great rap.
Cinema.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. Peugeot probably paid.
Yeah,
Godard to feature the 404 in the film.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Parisian Police. They both feature, prominently in the.
I don't know if it was a James Bond film. No, I don't think it was. But there was a film that like Audi or Mercedes obviously paid for product placement, but there were parts of the movie that were basically car commercials. Like, it was so blatant.
The Transporter?
Maybe. I don't remember. But it was just like you're watching it and I'm like, why are they just focused on the emblem on the front of the car all the time?
Well,
but at the same time, we were talking about that Testarossa on Sunday.
Yeah.
And, and I was like, oh, man, that red Testarossa, that's where it's at. And the other guy and they were like, no, Testarossa, you want that in white.
Wow.
Because of Miami Vice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but like,
I would go red personally.
I want a red Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean,
I want a red Ferrari.
Well, first of all, it means redhead. Testarossa is redhead.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So, but the engine block's red.
Sure.
It's painted red. So you get the red.
Yeah.
But that car in white tan is.
Oh yeah,
But think about it. That's Don Johnson. That's Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's Magnum PI. Watch him in that red Ferrari just pop out in the Hawaiian shirt and the mustache.
You need a 308.
I think I do.
I think that's the move for you.
I think that might be the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, 308.
Because red 308 is just stunning.
Full on go for it. Keep the mustache.
And I'll tell you,
I have the Hawaiian shirts. That's not a problem.
You have to do nothing to a 308 and it sounds unbelievable.
So we're just knocking things off the list here. We're going 308.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going 308.
All right.
All right, 308 shopping this weekend.
We'll just head to the local Ferrari store.
Red or yellow? Yeah, the local Ferrari store.
If you could, well, jeez.
Speaking of which, I mean, the racing team really needs, merchandising to go along with it.
That's true.
There should be a Ferrari of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We should be poised to, make that happen.
Let me see. 308. Give me a day. I'll find one for you.
Yeah.
308?
Need a day. Yeah. Need a day or two. I'll find one for you.
Well, this is know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they're just great cars. I'm a big fan of the 308s.
Let me finalize things with my uncle. My Uncle Samuel. Uncle Sam. I have to clear a hurdle or two.
Uncle Sam.
I get it.
Yeah, well, Uncle Samuel is. It's a tough uncle to have.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Good to me when I was a kid. Tougher to me now. Which I think better that he was good to me as a kid. And,
yeah.
Right.
I believe there's a 308 on Bring a Trailer right now, but one moment.
So as he's looking for that, the best in show. So obviously we have all these. Best Ferrari, best Maserati, but then there has to be a best in show. It was a 1928 Isotta Fraschini Tipo 8ASS. So this is like, if you just think of like an old car, one of those huge with the big wheels and the huge hood, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Ostrich leather. I'm going to lead off with that. This car has ostrich leather. It is one of the coolest cars I've ever seen. Probably one of the, rarest cars I've probably ever seen. That can't be a very popular vehicle to own. And it actually, the owner was there, but it had like handlers. So, like, a guy moved it when it was moved into the winner's circle. That was also a very nice touch. We had these flags. So, best Maserati, best Ferrari, and it was in a half circle.
That was really cool.
And that was the winner's circle. So, and you were there.
Right around that green.
Right around that green. Then you were welcome back Sunday to repark in the winner's circle. Very nice. And then there was a woman who basically, she had gloves on. And basically, if you wanted to know about the car, she was the one who knew all about it. And it was, I mean, Jay, if you can talk probably more about that car than I can, but it was really spectacular.
I think that's the 17th green for those who know.
Yeah.
That's my home course. That's the course I play on the most.
Yeah.
I've never golfed there.
Mm-mm.
The
Same.
The Cloverfield, the Bob O'Connor Cloverfield.
Yeah.
That's he's not incorrect.
Yeah. No, incredible car. That car's won second at Pebble Beach.
Wow.
So it had to win here. We'd look like morons
if
we didn't give it anything.
Yeah.
It's a, for people who don't know what it is and can't look it up, it is sort of the, a Bentley or Rolls Royce or Cadillac or Packard of its day.
Okay.
The Italian version.
Yeah.
Large, touring car.
Huge.
Very large white walls and, the whole deal. The ostrich interior was
that's unbelievable. That like wood paneling for the step up.
Yeah.
And like the wood boxes that held like the tools.
2 spare tires.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah. Gorgeous car.
Yeah.
It was a showstopper. We were really fortunate for a little Pittsburgh city to get that level of car. It speaks to, that show's come a long way. So
I have to say, and I first thought this when I went to Jason's show, which is held at the Bentley store.
I'm looking forward to that so much.
That I can't believe the cars that are in this area. Because Jason's show is more of a local show.
Yeah, I don't pull from other states. It's invite only. So it's mostly people I know or I know a guy.
Yeah,
referral.
Where people were bringing their cars from.
And it's not a weekend event. It's a 6-hour, one day kind of one
exactly
fundraiser.
So when you go to Jason's show, you think these people they like drove these cars here. I mean, maybe a trailer like the Azada, obviously.
Yes.
That comes, and that Vespa came, I'm in a trailer, so some cars do. But it's like, this car is here. Like, what's that, 1914 Packard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is there he drove a 1914 Packard to Jason's show.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, think about huge wheels, the big wooden spoke wheels on that car. I'm thinking, what is this car doing?
Right.
You wouldn't think you'd see that car.
Yeah.
At a show in this area.
However, this is a couple of things going for the Pittsburgh area. It's the original home of oil in America.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, Western Pennsylvania. I mean, that's why there's all that shale gas in
Western
PA.
Yeah.
One of the first oil refineries in America was on the banks of the Allegheny River.
And Standard Oil's Cleveland.
Yeah,
so
Standard Oil
close.
started in
2
Cleveland,
hours, yeah.
And Rockefeller actually came through and bought up everything that was in Pittsburgh and did a bunch of deals here and became partners with prominent Pittsburghers. I know some Pittsburgh history.
Sure.
So oil goes back to this area, this region.
Mm-hmm.
This has always been a technical and manufacturing hub.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I mean, Carnegie
Sure.
Mellon, that was a long time technical school, technical university. A lot of engineering talent.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have worked for Westinghouse and PPG,
Sure.
Carnegie Steel, and are hobbyists. They go home and they're like, oh, I got a car, I want to work on it.
Yeah.
They care about it. And the third thing I would say, the housing costs here, despite, the recent housing market, are still lower than New Jersey, New York, Boston,
Santa
Florida,
Barbara, California.
Exactly. Right, exactly.
San Francisco, forget it.
Right. And
L.A.
And exactly. And so, growing up here, I felt like the average car was a little better, was a little nicer than the average car in like New Jersey, New York, Boston.
Yeah.
Because you have more room in your budget sometimes for a car.
Yeah.
And then I would say, like, as a maybe a fourth, because the weather here is so shitty, everybody kind of knows how to navigate that.
Yeah.
You ever go to DC, they get like an inch of snow and the place shuts down.
Sure.
And we get an inch of snow and it's like, you're not missing school.
Yeah, no,
get in
100%.
there.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like because people have, knowledge of the weather, respect for the weather, they're not then destroying the cars
all year long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have the sense to.
And this is
take a little better care.
This is one of the oldest cities in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So there's a lot of old cars that have been passed down.
Yes.
That too.
And that's great.
That's a really good point. People don't leave Pittsburgh.
Yes. A lot of people stay.
And so and so it's not like people are like, oh, what do I do with this? Packard. Trying to sell it at the local auction.
I feel like a lot of the homes in the city are older people.
Yeah.
So they stay. They grow up and they stay in the city limits, so.
Yeah, I know that there was one, vintage classic Alpha, and I asked him about it, and he goes, no, I bought this new. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because we always asked how many owners. Not that a one-owner car might win over a 3 or 4 owner car. We're just curious as part of the story. He goes, oh, no, I bought this Alpha new. I was like, wow. I don't know. It just kind of like hit me. Like, holy heck,
One of those cars, when we were at the waterfront, we walked by it was a green one. I can't remember what it was, but my dad pointed at it and he said, "Your Aunt May had one of those."
Green one.
It was green. It was at the waterfront. It was not on the Chick-fil-A side. It was on the other side. It was I forget the mark, but I
talk about creatures.
Well, right.
Well, no, south side.
I mean,
waterfront.
Or the waterfront. The waterfront.
Yeah, that was
special place there.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
You came to 0 events.
I came to 0.
You came to no events.
I
you
swooped
need to step
in.
your game up.
I swooped in, judged, swooped out.
I think South Side was the
tune-up's a cool event.
The tune-up's
it's a good setting.
Yeah, it's a great setting.
It's a good setting to have a display there. So I think that was, that's always a strong show. And then Walnut's okay.
Got to get one in the stadium. Drive the cars into.
Well, the tune-up used to be at Heinz Field.
But in the field.
No,
excuse me, Accusure.
Oh,
or whatever it's called now.
That'll last 3 years.
Yeah, that
company's got.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, listen, no, I don't know the.
They'll buy everybody's hearts.
Wrong.
Yeah.
First of all,
wrong. No.
Yeah.
No.
Sad.
No.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just in case you don't know, Heinz Field is no longer Heinz Field. The Steelers. So I mean, because that's a money thing, right? The company pays to Heinz pays to have their name on the stadium.
So the money rights
or
go
like
to
the naming
the team, right? And then they can't use that for players. That's not a salary cap number.
Okay,
that can go to, arena or field upgrades.
Okay.
A new Jumbotron.
Sure.
Fan experience stuff or coaches' salaries.
Okay.
That's what that goes
to. So obviously, I'm assuming Heinz made that decision. I don't know why
they didn't renew.
Yeah. So it's not like the Steelers booted Heinz from.
No.
Heinz just said we don't have enough catch-up money to keep it up.
Well,
and I don't know how some Michigan-based insurance company.
Hunt's Ketchup has been coming on strong lately.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I know my mom had some. My mom had Hunt's Ketchup on the table.
Really?
Oh.
Were you upset?
I was not happy.
Well,
yeah.
Listen,
I was not happy.
I understand.
It's a weird darker red.
Yeah, it is.
There's something wrong with it.
It's like a blood red.
Yeah, it's not
really
good.
Odd.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know how a Michigan-based insurance company got their name on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Thomas Tull.
Who's this?
Tull.
Who's that?
He's a wealthy businessman who lives in the area. Was involved with the Batman movies.
Oh,
financing the Batman movies. I don't know where he.
Yeah.
He might live in the South Hills or the North Hills, something
that
like that.
Name sounds familiar.
The Thomas Tull Foundation. Thomas Tull is involved with Acrisure. I think he's part owner of the Steelers now. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and hence the Acrisure.
Is he the guy that moved from Hollywood to Pittsburgh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a write-up about him several years ago. Yeah, okay.
That's the guy.
So that's probably how it all happened. Well, because there must be some kind of connection.
Yes, he is invested in Acrisure, and I believe he's a partial owner of if not the Steelers, which I don't know how that would be possible with the Rooney family, but maybe
there were minor owners.
I think he's a minor owner, and he put together the Acrisure deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the structure. I don't even know if it's published who owns the Steelers, but I know the Rooneys didn't do it like alone. Let's put it that way. There were definitely,
or at least at this point.
He produced the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. Wow.
Yeah. And before that, I think he ran some kind of like tax prep business.
Okay.
I think he started and ran or had like an H&R Block type competitor in the Acrisure's out of the Midwest somewhere.
And he plays guitar for the Ghost Towns.
It's a Michigan.
Who toured with the Stones.
What?
Yeah, he does all kinds of cool stuff. We need to get that guy on the podcast.
Yeah. Tell us about Batman.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, we need to get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell us about Batman.
Hey.
Yeah.
Say, I'm Batman.
Yeah, listen. I'm Batman. That's the best
Michael
story.
Keaton, I bet, uses that.
That movie's been on every day for the past week.
What?
The 89
original.
Oh, really?
Batman.
Yes.
If I was Michael Keaton, I would probably say I'm Batman
all day.
All the time. That's the best story, the SNL story.
Yeah.
I don't know if Adam Sandler tells it. I think he was on SNL.
Spade, I think.
Or maybe it was David Spade. He was on SNL back when that movie came out. They all went to dinner for like the post-show or whatever. Maybe it was a pre-show dinner. And obviously SNL wanted to pay.
They pick up the tab.
Because he's the guest of SNL. And he grabs it and they say, no. He goes, I'm Batman. And then he pays the bill. Like I'm Batman. I pay the bill. Like
yeah, I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that the next time I'm drunk at the bar.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab a girl's
bill.
I'll take care of this.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Would you have a White Claw? I'll take care of it.
And she's probably gonna pepper spray me or call the bouncer and be like, get this fucking guy away from me.
Get Batman away.
This guy has a mustache on. He hasn't stopped talking about an SL 500 in the last.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Trying to pay my tab.
Right.
Tase him.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
You pull up on a Ferrari.
But you know what? This will be like
do all kinds of things.
When that's true.
Yeah.
Like do all my cocaine and then bounce.
Yeah.
Listen, if I ever get a Lambo, I need some Quaaludes. We got to remake some
ludes.
Yeah, because I'm gonna reenact that scene from Wolf of Wall.
I mean,
that's the kind of stuff. Quaaludes are hard to find. Pretty soon, Sotheby's are going to be like, we got like 20 Quaaludes, and there's going to be,
it's going to be some like Leonardo Da Vinci painting,
in the trunk of a Testarossa,
and then there's some Quaaludes found in a 1989 Testarossa.
Mrs. Lieberman passed away, still had these, and then 20 Quaaludes. And you got the diplomat, the ambassador from Qatar is just throwing money down. I'll take him.
That is so funny. You know what? It'll be like when Civic Arena changed its name to Mellon Arena. I still called it Civic Arena.
Yeah.
We're all going to say, I'll meet you down at Heinz Field.
What's it called now?
PPG Paints. It was Console, Console Energy Center. Now it's PPG Paints Arena.
Quaalude Arena.
We're going to bring back Quaaludes.
Yeah, we need a TMPS podcast field.
Yes. Well,
Isn't there like a lacrosse field?
The Riverhounds. We could sponsor where the Riverhounds play.
Riverhounds,
as part of the Cortile, the Pitt students. Dude, he's losing his mind.
I know.
The look on your face when I said the Riverhounds.
Yeah.
You didn't even laugh. You were just disgusted.
I'm just like,
it was
oh
just
my god,
pure disgust.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work out.
So
you're like, I don't want the TMPS podcast associated with the Riverhounds. No way.
The universities, I think around the globe, not just in the United States, I'm not sure, they have an engineering club where they build like an open wheel formula car.
Yeah.
And they were at the Cortile. They not only volunteer, but they bring the car, and that car was in the parade. And their car, like an F1 car, is covered in sponsors. And I said,
did you talk to them about it?
I said, how much to get my website on your car? I'm like, oh, well, you donate, and there are different tiers, and based on the tier, obviously the University of Pittsburgh's like real big because I'm sure, they're part of the thing, and just random things. So I'm going to call them up, figure out how to get in touch with them. I mean, I wasn't going to do it there. I didn't have a checkbook or anything, with me, and they're just kids, college kids, volunteering.
We'll ask Bernie.
I mean,
we'll hook it up.
Wouldn't that be hilarious to get overly involved in like the pit or CMU like Formula One?
Oh
whatever,
no,
like,
I think
open car thing.
No, I think I'm gonna
just TMPS on it, nothing else.
Yeah.
Last year they went on the
bring
track.
some of the guys from Rorick over and just help them engineer it.
Last year they went on the parade. They ran out of gas.
Yeah,
I told them. I said, don't run out of gas this year. Make sure some gas in that thing.
Yeah,
I said amazing.
Yeah,
they ran out of gas.
They were like, and then they had to get towed back into the cable.
Were they CMU kids?
No, pit.
This is all pit.
This is all pit. I don't know if CMU has a team.
Well, because it's like it reminds. You remember Under Siege 2?
Oh God,
the second Under Siege where he's on the train and the egghead
is that like a
guy.
Seagal movie?
Oh yeah, it's Seagal.
Okay.
It's Steven Seagal. And at the end, the guy's like, "You'll never, I have everything on this laptop." And Steven Seagal shoots the cell phone off the laptop, and the guy goes, "Oh, I never thought of that." He was like the mad genius who outsmarted the CIA, outsmarted the DOD, was controlling the satellites. And Steven Seagal was like, "I'll just shoot his laptop." I was like, "I didn't think of that."
You gotta just.
It's like the CMU kids. They build architect this amazing thing, and then it ain't got no gas.
It ain't got no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas.
We don't know why it's working. Okay, have I ever told you this story? When I was a kid, we had 2 driveways. Okay,
2 driveways.
We had the driveway that went to the house. We had a driveway that went to an outbuilding that was another big garage that had all my dad's tillers and gardening equipment and like storage, right? So my mom said, move my car from the one driveway to the other driveway. And this was just when I was like about to learn how to drive kind of thing, So I was nervous. And I had my younger sister, Danielle, stand on the porch and like watch for other cars and like kind of help me navigate it. I mean, I was not of driving age yet. I was getting there, but not yet. I didn't have a permit or anything.
This is interesting already.
So I get in my mom's car. It's a late 80s Mercedes Benz. It had a phone in it, not like a car, not like a cell phone.
So it's cool.
It had a phone with a coil, like a legitimate phone.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest car. And I wish we still had it, but, long story. So I get down to the bottom because the driveway's on a hill. So I get down to the bottom of the hill. I got to pull out and just pull into the other driveway. And it's not moving. I'm like, Danielle, what do I do? And she's little. She's 3 years younger than me. You think she knows? And I'm like, it's not moving. It's not moving. There was a car coming. Danielle goes, is it on? I never turned it on. I just somehow put it into gear and it just coasted down.
Are you serious?
I never actually turned the car on.
Oh,
she goes. We still joke about it. She'll go, "Is it on?"
That's funny.
I never actually turned the car on.
Mess.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got it like into gear. I don't know how it rolled. It just.
What's funny is that's sort of like half of the job in IT. You just ask people to turn it off and on again.
Yeah. So I was thinking,
did you reboot? Yes, I rebooted it.
That's the first thing that I did.
Yeah.
Did you reboot it again?
It's the worst.
Guy's named Ben.
Unplug it and plug it back in. But anyway, this year's Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix I thought was a great success. It was tons of fun.
Big success.
It was a great success. We were winning all weekend.
Mission accomplished.
I really enjoyed
that was a really good one. You should clip that.
Yeah.
That you should clip and put into the intro.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. That was an excellent mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. So, judging, I had a lot of fun doing it. It's just.
Well, I'm glad that you did because, I'm trying to get you more involved in things, even though you did skip a whole week of Grand Prix events.
Yeah. I need at least a 2-month. I need a schedule.
You do have a Maserati where you could bring it to any event.
That is true.
I don't know why you just like.
That is true.
Okay, so let's tell John what happened yesterday. We're supposed to. Come here for the meeting.
Yes.
There was a Cortili meeting, Zoom meeting. I said I'll come over. We'll do it, and then we'll do a quick like F1 podcast or something.
Yeah.
I come over after work. I call, no answer. Knock on the door, no answer. Ring the doorbell, no answer. So I'm like, I keep knocking, no answer. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. 17 minutes, I'm out there knocking on his door. No answer. I go home. 10 minutes to spare to get on the Zoom call. He goes, I don't know what happened. I passed out. Like I was out there 17 minutes, like knocking on the door.
Okay, so
ringing the doorbell. He was sleeping.
I was sleeping. I went to the gym that day for the first time in a long time and actually lifted some weights. I felt great, but I got home. I'm like, okay, the Zoom is at 6. I got a couple hours. I'm just going to rest my eyes. My mom said, I'm just going to rest my eyes. Not really sleep. You just kind of, well, I went apparently into a mild coma because the fact that I didn't hear and Kona didn't go nuts, I don't know. I just didn't hear it. So we were supposed to do this show last night, but then you texted me, said, let's do it Friday.
It worked perfectly.
So it actually worked out perfectly because I really wanted you to be involved in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm really glad we had another
show
in a different perspective because, with the other club.
Yeah, because I thought you had a really good experience.
I had a blast.
Yeah, and I did want you on the Grand Prix debrief show.
Do you think that we'll all the judges will be in next year? As long as they don't, if they're low,
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good group.
It was a good group.
I
liked it.
I think it, like, for me, so it was Jason, the head judge, and then 2 groups of 3. I mean, I kind of focused on the story. Chris kind of focused on taking notes and maybe being a little bit more technical. And then Ian was basically, he literally had notes about every single car. And, was much more of like the detail guy. So we had a good combination of, because then we would step away, discuss, and it was, I think, a 15 total points, 5 for body, 5 for interior, 5 for engine. And, I might think an engine's a 3, but then Chris or Ian chimes in, oh, no, it has all the right numbers, this, that, something that I might not be fully aware of. Like, you know what I mean? So I think we had a nice combination of 3
good synergy there.
Good opinions that all came together to judge a vehicle. And and it was a nice way to spend the day, talking to people, looking at their car, hearing the stories. It was a very nice way to spend the day.
Hopefully John gets an Italian car. He can join us at the Cortile.
Oh, this is happening. This is happening.
Yeah. I can introduce him.
Let me tell you.
You remember when I sent when did I send you the bring a trailer link for the SL, and I'm like, I'm getting this, and you were like, okay,
yeah.
And then I got it, and then you were like, okay, all right. When I say I'm going to do something,
you're going to do it.
business.
So here's my thing.
And listen, you can ask Mike. I what did I say about John like 2 days ago when we were coming? Where were we? Wherever we were. And I said, I like John because once he's like, he has like a vision of something, he does it. Like he finds a path.
Yep,
that's a good thing.
So put race team on your vision board because
race team is on the vision board.
Yeah, so I'm not joking.
It's there with the with all the other ideas.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Race team is a great one.
I would love next year if we had an Austin Healey or a Triumph racing in one of these categories.
I loved that. I had when I worked at Samsung, my desk, my whole area was like a little lab. I mean, granted, this was like mechanical. This was like little circuits and a little bit of mechanical, tons of software and a lot of components and Raspberry Pis and cameras and all that stuff. But oh man, having like a garage,
it'd be fun.
Like being able to tackle that stuff. I'd be there with the mallet, like, okay,
Yeah, we need to get like a whole situation.
I'd love it.
Get a Lotus or something.
Ooh, that's cool.
I mean,
TMPS, sponsored by TMPS.
100%. That website.
TMPS Racing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be all over it. Billboards and cars. And,
TMPS on the hood, a Trump organization on the bumper.
Yeah. Brought to you by MAGA.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is the greatest race car. I've seen millions of race cars.
Libs from Squirrel Hill just melting down at the
How
just
about
heart
he
attacks.
said yesterday or the other day I'd have the greatest women's basketball team. Because he would convert LeBron to a woman. And then he'd be on the team. And he goes, he'd score 300 points. We'd go undefeated. I was like, what the hell is he talking
Trump
about?
just says whatever.
He has been on fire
lately.
He
just says the most random shit.
Well, it's because he's not. I feel like he's not getting as much camera time these
days. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
So he's just. Did you see him about Live Golf?
Yeah.
They asked him something about Saudi Arabia. He goes, well, they haven't really gotten to the bottom of 9/11. He just throws that out there.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have more committees about 9/11.
They ask him, they're like, well, don't you think, well, when 15 out of the 19 people from 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia, and he's like, well, they've never really gotten to the bottom of it. And then,
That's terrible. That's just wow. I don't even know what to think.
it's like they're like, well, what do you think on this, like the 60th anniversary of the moon landing? He's like, you believe in that? Really? Like Santa Claus?
I
He's
saw.
like, were you there?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. I saw this comedian. He goes, it's the 50th anniversary of us landing on the moon. It's also the 50th anniversary of Ted Kennedy killing some girl like in a lake.
Yeah.
Mary Jane Kopechne.
Talk about a cover up. Talk about
Conspiracy theory.
Let's go land on the moon to just shift the country's focus away from Teddy and his car crash.
Oh my god.
Mary
I just
Jane
noticed
Kopechne.
you're wearing an Alpha shirt.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is 1600 Veloce.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
a shout out to them.
So
who
Shout
he
out
bought
to
his
six-
car from.
Yeah.
I bought my car from 1600 Veloce on Bring a Trailer. And
There you go.
I couldn't be happier.
So let me tell you
They
that
have some great cars on there.
Oh, they have, and they're on there. They're selling all the time.
Oh man.
in
And
preparation.
Diane, who does the logistics to
Yeah.
get it to you, the post sale logistics, awesome.
Yeah. So in preparation for the judging, I did watch a 1990s documentary about Alfa Romeo, and I have to say, at the end of it, I'm like, I need to buy an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Like,
Imagine owning that.
Whoa,
what is that?
awesome.
The 308.
Ooh,
308.
That one was bid to 1065 and it did not sell.
wow.
With whom? BAT.
Yeah. That's a concourse winning car though.
Yeah.
That's the top tier, but
Hey, have you ever seen an Alfa
What's wrong
Monza?
with top tier?
an Alfa Monza.
Okay, so they talked about in this documentary about Alfa that there were these Alfa Romeo race cars that were like famous for their races at Monza. There's only like 6 of them. So the car isn't officially called. It's called a 1750 or a 1700. But there's like 6 of them that I guess won a bunch of races at Monza. So they're called an Alfa Romeo Monza. I think there's only like 6 of them in the world or something. And this British guy had one because his father bought it, decades earlier. And, he passed away and passed it down to his son. I'm like, oh my God. And he still, in the 90s at least, was still like driving it. He like drives it around like
That's unbelievable.
Like the countryside of like England.
That's the best.
And he goes, it's just so nice owning this because only 6 of them built, and all that stuff. And I'm like,
It's only worth $3 million.
Can you imagine owning an Alfa Romeo? And it's an old race car with the big wheels,
Sure.
and like it's not. It looks like that.
Yeah, it's like a tube.
It looks like that. No. It looks more like the Amazada.
Oh, a bigger.
Yeah,
bigger
yeah,
car.
like
Okay.
one of those big race cars, And I just thought that. But you watch that, and I'm like, I need to own an Alfa.
Yeah.
Like, now I understand why the Alfa Romeos have such a presence. Like, and they do still mean, even though it's run and owned by Sauber.
It's a heritage car.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo does have an F1 team. I mean, there's Alfa Romeo. I mean, it's not like they're gone.
No.
They're currently racing this
They're a big
weekend
deal.
in Hungary, by the way.
They're a big deal.
Yeah, so I kind of want an Alfa. I got to learn how to drive a stick, though. I'm pretty sure they don't.
John's making moves.
Oh,
here.
you got to.
I don't know how to drive a stick.
Oh, driving a stick's so much
I'm
fun.
telling you, you got
It's the best.
It's so fun.
I need to just go find a cheap car because
Yeah, buy it.
I'm not going to learn on your Ferrari, obviously.
No, you're not.
So did you see Jason's face? No, that's not happening.
No.
So
We could see if my old Subaru Forester is still available.
hey,
You remember that? You remember that when we were
Yeah.
in high school? That car, that was a stick shift.
To be honest, if you were just a passenger in the Ferrari and you just watched when I shifted by just listening,
Yeah.
because you do it by, you don't even need to watch the gauges.
No, you do it by
just do
ear.
it by
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
And
You-
feel.
you'll-
And feel.
You can feel.
Yeah.
You'll just do it. It'll just you'll just be like, shift.
Yeah.
You just
You
know.
gotta get the. I mean, depending
Well,
upon
yeah.
how
So
good the,
They're all
so
different. Every
this
car
was
is different.
this was my thing. Is it's when you catch? Is it a catch? Is that what they call it?
clutch.
Or no clutch. But when you feel it catch is when
Oh, yeah,
you
when you feel it catch.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different catch point. I guess.
Yes.
So when I was at Volvo, they had this like $5,000 cheapo car that was a stick, and I used to drive it around the detail bay. And I remember I would always stall out because I wouldn't, because as you lift off the clutch, you have to put on the gas, and I
Yeah.
could never quite get that coordination down. And man,
as a drummer, you should be able to do it.
I know, right? Right?
2 feet.
I should be able to do it.
You also have to drive the same clutch a couple of times to really get it because they're all different.
Yeah,
there's like a different. You'll lurch a
the
little
Ferrari
bit.
is so light.
Yeah.
And the Lambo is so heavy because it came out of a tractor.
Sure.
So it feels like night and day. If you go from one to the other, it just feels so bizarre.
Can you imagine? I'm just going to take my tractor engine and put it in a Italian sports car.
I sent you that one for sale.
I will own a Lamborghini tractor.
Yeah.
I'll park it right in my front yard.
Blue and orange.
Oh my! You know, Lamborghini was a tractor company.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Lamborghini started as a tractor company, and then he bought a Ferrari. It had problems. Ferrari was kind of a dick to Mr. Lamborghini.
He was an industrialist. I mean, these guys were on the same level and kind of had a little bit of a falling out.
Yeah. And then Lamborghini said, well, screw you, Ferrari. I'm going to make my own sports car. And then, of course, it's a much broader story than that, but that's kind of the Cliff Notes. And then because of his...
It's not just like when Microsoft created Bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a little different. A little more extensive than that. But he took that...
Closer to that Adidas Puma.
Yes. He took that tractor engine and put a Lamborghini car around it.
Well, and there's a
it's sold today for $48,000.
Yeah, but see, I want to own a Lamborghini tractor.
That is amazing.
I want to roll that onto the Cortile. Oh my God! Can you imagine?
And that's like what an Italian, like if you went by an Italian field and he had an orange and blue tractor like that, you'd be like, that guy's got a fly.
Jay,
tractor.
I don't know what we have to do, but I think next year we should have a Lambo tractor on the field.
I've wanted one at my show.
Kids will take pictures on
Porsche
it.
Porsche also had tractors.
Yeah.
So it'd be great. It'd be
well,
great.
Porsche started out as just an engineering firm.
I don't really know. Yeah.
So I went to the Porsche Museum in I think it was Stuttgart.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds right.
Porsche Museum in Stuttgart. It started out at Ferdinand Porsche ran a company that did industrial design. And it did industrial design for like the companies that became Audi, for Volkswagen, for Mercedes-Benz, for all the for the Third Reich.
Well, hey, I mean, it just is what it is,
But it got interested in making a sports car after the war, I think in the 50s, and that's where that sort of like classic 911, the idea for that came out of him making these parts, engines and
now,
other stuff.
Did BMW make cars before the war, or was that a product
motorcycles?
So they made motorcycles, and then we didn't allow them to make airplanes anymore. So they didn't have an air, and basically they had to start making something else. So isn't that the story?
BMWs are.
It's not worth airtime.
Did I text you that one time? Imagine owning a BMW.
I guess this is
you're a wiener.
Yeah.
I will say, my sister, my
yeah, you made the Bob Costas list. You made the all-time wiener list. Yeah,
we don't hold back here at the
years ago when we started doing the show. He's like, who do you not
list.
like or something? I was like, Bob Costas popped into my head.
Who's
that guy's a self-righteous wiener.
Who's like the wiener?
He's like the king of the wieners.
You know what? We had a wiener list. I'll have to go back and find it.
Bob Costas.
Yeah, we had
like number one.
Yeah,
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, we had like a wiener list. Just
like
real wiener. Remember, he had the double pink eye at the Olympics.
Oh.
Give me a double pink.
Get off the TV. Put some eye drops in. Yeah, get Lester Holt on there.
Oh God,
Tirico.
My goodness.
Oh God.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, when you're like, it's
double
time.
Pink eye.
When you go, it's time to put Lester Holt in. It's really bad.
Get the hook. I mean,
where was that Olympics? Do you remember? China?
Was that Greece?
No, Rio.
It was Rio.
Oh, yeah, Rio.
What was he doing down in Rio to get double pink eye?
Yeah,
Copacabana. Well, if it was this year, he'd be coming back with monkeypox.
Yeah, he's monkeypoxing it.
Monkeypox all over his face. They'd still be doing the broadcast.
Wow,
listen, that's not.
I'm gonna cry, dude. That's
it's a mess.
You can't get double.
You know why I don't like him is because he romanticizes things that don't need romanticizing.
Yeah, and he's like 5 feet tall.
He's like Mickey Mantle. What a guy.
Yeah,
and Mickey Mantle's drunk in an alley.
Yeah,
like doesn't know where he is. Like beat his girlfriend. Like whatever. I'm like, the guy could hit a ball, yes, but he doesn't need to be. You don't need to like blow him on air.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of that, we were talking to our good friend Paul on Willie Wing Night Wednesdays at Willie's Tavern.
What a guy! Yep. You gonna tell that story real quick?
And he was he was just talking about how I'm sorry.
You're thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. He was just talking about how Clemente was the best talent.
Because he's older. I asked him who's the best baseball player you ever saw. He said Clemente by far.
Yeah, just how great of a player he was. But no, you tell the story. You tell the story.
We're eating, and he's waiting for his food.
Paul tells the greatest stories.
He goes, well, Martha and I were down in, where's it, Savannah or something? I don't know.
Like that.
Myrtle. I don't know where.
Like at a convention or.
And then he goes, we were in a hotel.
Yeah.
And he goes, we stumbled upon a convention.
Yeah. Like, because
we were talking about crashing weddings or something. And he said,
my grandfather was a union rep for the clothing industry, a lot of traveling. He would crash, he would go to these hotels where they'd have these big he would crash high school reunions, conventions, and go, hey, we were on the swim team together. We really funny. My grandfather was hysterical. Really funny stuff. So Paul goes, well, guess what?
So he goes, and I'm like, kind of, he's sitting next to Mike.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side, so I'm not like paying attention much. But I overhear him say, we stumbled upon this, what looked like a convention. So we had to, I tried to blend in and kind of like crash it. And
they got food and some drinks.
Yeah.
So they just kind of waltzed
just poking around, and I'm like, I'm thinking it's like a class reunion or something to that effect.
Yeah.
That's how it was brought up, class reunions.
Yes.
And he goes, do you know what it ended up being? He goes, they spotted us.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean they spotted you? Like, like you didn't fit in?
Yeah.
He was like, no. And he goes, it was he goes, it was an African American mortician's casket convention.
These are two rather white individuals.
Yeah, they're the whitest people ever. And I'm like, wait a second.
It was a black.
I thought he was
funeral home.
Yeah, black.
He said they had the caskets out.
Yeah,
because
he was like, Martha and I were seeing what our future was looking like, and we wanted to pick out some nice caskets.
That's what he said to them. We were just checking out the future.
But those three things: African American, mortician. Caskets. I'm like, and Paul, just like, and I go, how did they find you, Paul? And he goes, well, we didn't really look like anybody else, and they asked us to leave.
Yeah.
He goes, they were really nice about it.
Yes, because they were really nice about it.
You can't make it up.
No.
I mean, I'm just like,
no,
you
can't make that up.
Well, that's are they part of the AAMAA?
I guess.
The African American Morticians Association of America?
Yeah.
I guess.
That's
I
funny.
guess. And obviously,
does that exist?
Let's
the African American Morticians Association.
Well, they had a convention.
Yeah.
AAMAA. Well, wasn't it the Morticians?
Are you okay, girl?
And cemetery.
You all right?
Pall bearers. That's hilarious. Are you gonna Bing that?
I'm gonna Bing it.
Bing.
And Bing. And
I love how Bing. They're like only affluent people use Bing. I'm like, nobody uses Bing.
There's blackmorticians.com.
Is it a porn site?
Networking news and that's horrible. Networking news and needs for funeral directors serving African American communities.
Yeah, there it is.
Black
wow.
Association. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, everyone dies at some point.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm looking if
Black Morticians
if there's any in our area.
Yeah, there's got to be. Has to be.
All right, guys. We are approaching 2 hours.
Is that long?
We're at 1 hour 48
John
minutes.
needs to come on more often. We have a good time.
We have a great time.
We have similar interests.
Yes, I'm 100%. We just got to, I mean, technically, the Michael Pinchak show comes out every Friday, but that's not like some kind of set thing. It's just a nice end of the week thing. Wrap up the week. Formula One is in Hungary, at the Hungaro Ring this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is I'm thinking it's going to be a Ferrari weekend because this track's all about cornering speed.
They're going to sabotage Leclerc like they always do.
You really think so?
I'm telling you.
Is it fixed?
They're jamming him up. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Is it like
listen.
Belichick level where they
No.
get the calm? They hit
No,
the comms?
it's just
It's like every time you go around that one bend, you lose comms?
Yeah.
There's something going on this year with Ferrari's strategy. Like, Sainz was on a podium position in France, and they pitted him late, and he finished like P5, but he came out P9, so he did make up some ground.
Yeah, but he could have been.
But he could have been on the podium.
Yes.
Well, he was on medium tires. They wouldn't have lasted. There were only 10 laps left, Ferrari.
It's a little...
And then Leclerc crashed, so, that was that. But I don't know if they were just trying to salvage the race. Instead of having a double DNF, they go safe, they pit, get tires, and they finish the race on new tires, which have a less chance of blowing out.
Vettel's retiring.
Vettel is retiring. Yeah, dude. He names his cars.
Yeah, and did you see this guy taking over for him?
No, I didn't even see that. No,
Look him up.
Okay.
Look him up.
All right
now. You're gonna
It's actually the guy who owns the Vespa.
You're going to be like, there's no way this guy's an F1 driver.
Yeah, right.
Wait till you see.
They've already announced it?
Yeah, it's already done.
He just retired yesterday.
Well, they already had this
finishing
teed
the
up.
season, I think, right?
Well, no, yeah, he's finishing the season, but like, see, these are all like contenders. Wait, is his last name Crack?
Jim or something? Like Jim Crack or something?
Mike Crack. His name is not Mike Crack.
No.
His name is Mike Crack.
It's not good.
You can't be an F1 driver with the name Mike Crack.
I'm telling you, it's not good.
What's better than Mike Hunt?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes, I just said that.
Did you see this guy?
Do they actually want to? Do they ever want to win races or?
Well, he might be a great driver.
Who knows? Mike Crack could be, a lot of people have been talking about Mike Crack. And,
oh, man, that's funny. What a mess. But we'll see. We'll see how this.
Yeah. Maybe that's a short-term solution. Listen, you got to listen to some of these names. Listen to this. In 2000.
Let me hear it.
In 2009. Sebastian Vettel had 2 Red Bull cars. One was named Kate, and then the other one was named Kate's Dirty Sister. Then in 2010, he had Luscious Liz and Randy Mandy. In 11, he had Kinky Kylie. In 13, he had Hungry Heidi, and his car last year was named Honey Rider. I didn't know that he did that.
A Bond girl? My goodness.
All right, guys. What do you think? Ready to roll?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do it.
All right, Jason, thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
John, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Michael Popinchak Show.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. Please go to tmpspodcast.com. From there, you'll find links to SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.